What's up, future millionaires? It's your boy MTI, and I finally reached over 1 million plants in the drip garden. So now you can kind of consider myself a smaller well in the drip garden. And so I also posted on the drip community page, your boy MTI has reached 1 million plants, which was about a day ago. And so now that I've reached this 1 million plants, now what? Well, we're going to be briefly touching on what I'm thinking about doing here in the short term with the garden. And also we're going to be taking a look at how many plants am I making per day, how many LPs am I producing per day, and how much income daily is it producing per day now as well. But before we jump into it, we got to dive into the king of it all first and foremost, which is going to be the drip faucet. Now, as we look at the price of drip, it is around $7.52 at the time of this video. Now the price could be higher or lower when you see the video. Now as we get over to the faucet here, you can see I currently have 2,111 drip, and so the goal is for me is still just compounding every single day until I get to that max payout, which is pretty much the end of May or right at the beginning of June. And so here's the faucet here, and if we head on over to the animal farm, let's go down to the drip garden. And here you can see I have 105 million plants. I have about 4.45 LPs that I can either sell and take profit on, or I can either compound or take those LPs and just kind of save them and wait for the farms to open up as well. So just showing you, this is what I currently have at the time of this video. If we head over to Farmer's House, you can see at the time when I'm recording it, this is Monday night, and you will see this Tuesday morning. As you look at the contract balance, this baby is constantly growing steadily. If you just look down here, you can see it hit the low around, I think it was like 365, somewhere around there. And so you could just see this thing has been pumping and just moving back up. And so if you're growing your garden with the balance, you should be in pretty good shape, or at least keeping up somewhat with the decay somewhat if you're compounding daily. And so as you can see here, you guys know I have a total of 3K invested in the garden. As you can see here, currently down about 80 bucks. Now I can go ahead and compound this, which will take off some of that as well. However, I will be compounding tomorrow. I typically only compound my garden once per day. I know some people compound 2 or 3 times per day. So me, I'm just doing once per day, and it seems to work out quite nicely for me. Now, if we head over to the drip.formulate, let's go ahead and refresh this real quick. And here you can see the overview of my garden here. You have my total USD value, how many LPs it's worth, how many plants, 1,051,000 plants. You can see the daily returns, how many LPs I'm producing per day, which is about 10.19. And so if we head over to the drip garden here, you can see this thing is still growing with players, and I can see we being at over 30,000 players before the actual farms and pool open up for the garden, which is, for the animal farm, which is October 18th. So I can definitely see this being over 30,000. One thing I want to show you as well, though, kind of like the cream of the crop. One thing I've mentioned in the last video, this number is constantly rising. This is everyone who has over 650,000 plants or more, which is, including myself. So if you have, 1 million plus plants, this is including you. So out of those, 29,000 plus people, almost 39,000 people, only 1,500 has over 650,000. Now it was a lot less than this just a week ago. It was like 12 or 1,100. So you can see people are definitely compounding and buying their way into the garden. So what do I plan on doing? Let's head over. This is what I'm thinking about doing. So let's go here. So as we can see, I'm making over 35,000 plants per day. And this is what I'm thinking about doing in the short term. With me making 35,000 plants per day, if I just compound once per day like I've been doing, in about 29 to 30 days, maybe 28 days, that will actually get me 2 million plants just by compounding once per day, right? And so that will still put me at about 2 weeks or a little bit more before the actual animal farm completely opens up. And so that's what I'm thinking about doing. Instead of taking out profits right now, doing a 6-to-1 strategy, I'm thinking about just compounding for like 28 to 29 days to get to 2 million plants. And then I would think about taking some profits. And let me just show you real quick, just for the numbers sake. So if you look here, we got 35,000. Of course, this is going to go up, but we're just going to do an even 35,000 times 29 days. So just me compounding once per day, I can get to 2 million plants, because I know a lot of people are starting to take profits, are starting to get prepared for the animal farm, which in a sense you have to ROI at some point. You have to have some type of strategy. But while they're doing that, that gives me and other people that time to kind of get ahead and get to a bigger owner share in the actual drip garden. And so that's how I'm kind of looking at this, because once again, this is risk capital I have in here, and I do plan on getting my initial investment back. But at the same time, I really want to be in a nice position before I really start to pull from it. And so that's what I'm thinking about doing here in the short term. I'm about 90% sure I'm going to do that, and about 10% not that I won't do it. So about 90% that I'm just going to compound to 2 million plants, and then we will go ahead and look at this assessment again and figure out how I want to do it. But most importantly, I'm probably just going to do a 6-to-1 strategy once I get to 2 million plants, and then figure out what I want to do with those LPs. All right, so before we get out of here, I want to briefly show you my updated stake on Stable Fund, where I put in $1,000 on camera so you guys can see it. So let's briefly take a look at that. Now, last time, and I got a lot of comments down in the last video, and I appreciate everyone helping out as well, but I literally found out at the end of the video as I was messing around. I had it here on 𝗏𝗡, which I don't have 𝗏𝗡 in Stable Fund, and it's not showing me my history, right? So I had to click down to BUSD. Kind of crazy of me, right? Didn't know that. But yeah, so here you can see, once again, I was actually doing this for the first time on camera so you guys could see it. So here you can see September 2nd. Here's the date, here's the time. It was $1,000, but they take a 3% developer fee, which was $30, which took it down to $970. Here you can see how much profit I've already made, which I can actually take this out right now if I want to. And you can see I have 25 days left of this stake, and I can actually get my full deposit initial investment back, right? So one thing I want to mention though, I'm not going to do that everyday stake. And let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. So right now, as you can see, it's a stable coin, so I'm earning the same amount every day, regardless of what the market is doing. $14.55 off of $970. If I claim this, I can either redeposit this, but it's not going to go into this current stake. I'm going to have to make a separate stake, which means if I want to compound every single day, which it will go into the same pot, it's just going to be a different stake. So if I want to do it like that, that means I'm going to have one stake for each day, which is going to be 28 different stakes. Now, that's the only way to truly utilize the compounding feature with Stable Fund. Now, me personally, I don't want to actually do that. That's a little bit too tedious for me. And again, I only put $1,000 in here as far as risk capital. So what I'm going to do as far as my strategy, because when you look at the 1.5% daily, when you take that times 28 days, we can just break it down to we're earning 42% on our capital each stake. So every 28 days, we're earning 42%, right? So let me show you how I got that. You take 1.5 times 28, and that's going to give us 42. So this is what I'm going to do. We take that 970 plus 42%. It's going to give me an extra $407.40. Equal, now my total value will be $1,377. So what I'm gonna do is just let this accumulate for the full 28 days, take that out, then stake all of this at one time for another 28-day stake. So now plus another 42% for the 28-day stake, I'm earning now $578 for the course of that 28 stake. We're gonna hit the equal. I'm now at $1,955, which I can still take out my initial investment, which I plan to do, that $1,000, and then I just let the rest ride. And so that's what I'm going to do instead of trying to compound this thing every single day. However, I can take this out right now if I want to, but I'm just going to let it build up, and then I take it out at one time. But again, if we go back over to the drip, the king of them all, we're looking at the price of drip, $7.50. It's hanging right around, kind of pretty stable for the most part. You got people selling, you got some people taking profits, which it's okay. Like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 would say, drip is a big boy. It's meant to be able to take sales. This is what it can do. And here we have my drip garden again, well over 1 million plants. You can see here's my seeds available. Remember, the seeds are the ones that has the actual value, which when you sell those, you're going to get your actual drip in BUSD LP, which is 50/50. So essentially, if I wanted to sell this right now, $21 is going to be in BUSD and $21 worth of that is going to be in the drip token, right? So that's how that will work. And essentially you can kind of do whatever you choose to do with that. Rather you want to take profits, rather you want to go to the farms and literally just put it here to earn pigs. And if you're earning pigs, you want to be utilizing the pig pen, so that way you can get ownership, right, and get paid out in BUSD. But yeah, so just wanted to give you guys a quick brief overview of what's going on with the drip ecosystem. As you can see, the drip faucet is constantly growing, well over 2,000 now, and at the end of this year, just by compounding once per day and not adding any more capital, I'm going to be well over 6,000 drip, which is pretty nice. And as you can see here for the garden, my goal is most likely I'm probably just going to compound until I get to 2 million plants, and then I think about potentially doing a 6-to-1 strategy. But let me know down in the comment section for any questions you may have. Smash that like button on the way out. I appreciate you, drip community, and I will catch you on the next one.